Okay, so update with the 90 ZR1. I took the plenum off. I got videos on that. I solved my idling issue, replaced some hoses and cleaned things up under the plenum. And I still had my low end, low RPM. I would classify it as a miss. It was like a rumble. Car just kind of hesitated under acceleration. Cleared up after it got higher in the RPM range, but down low it kind of stumbled on itself. And I decided to start with the easiest thing, which was spark plugs. And that fixed my issue. I had original plugs in here, and once I swapped them out, it went away completely. I got the Iridium plugs from Jerry's. Spark plugs on this LT5, extremely, in my opinion, pretty easy to get out, all accessible. Toughest one is the 8 on the other side over there. But if you get a little creative with some universals and extensions, it's really not that bad. I filled the boot with dielectric grease, which was something I guess was on the forums, and Mark Hyback had suggested it. That worked great. The plugs that I pulled out of here I owned them out. They were fine. No cracked porcelain or anything like that. They just were rusty and super old, and it was just time for them to go. So today I'm going to replace the fuel pumps in the back for no other reason than they are a high fail rate component with the car getting as old as it's getting, and they're pretty easy to get to, and it's a pretty cheap thing to do. So I'll kind of go through that process and document how much pain or how easy that is for me. All right, so got the cover off. That's a couple Torx right here. This piece comes off, 2 Torx in the back, 2 Phillips in the front. And then this membrane gasket comes out, just kind of pulls out. And this is what it looks like. Start taking it apart. A little bit rusty in here. I don't see any major issues, but in order to access the pumps, I gotta pull this thing out with the sending unit and the pumps that should be on there. Okay, I got most things apart here. There's 2 fuel lines that slide off. Those weren't too bad. Electrical connector tucks away back in here. That needs to be disconnected. And there's another line over here, and I destroyed it. It just would not slip off. You can see I ended up just ripping the thing off, but I got to replace that. Just an old car. The lines, this line was like melded to the fitting. I just couldn't get it off. So 9 10mm bolts around the perimeter. I think I got everything here. This thing should just pull up out of place at this point. Okay, I got it out. The trick is, this is how it sits there. You gotta pull up a little bit. It's gotta go 90 degrees. And then you kind of have to pull it out this way. It's kind of tricky. There's not much space to work with, but the key is the 90-degree turn like this, and then it kind of comes out like this. All right, so I'm gonna take it over to the bench, but I just put some tape over the hole here and just corked off the lines. You'll get a little bit of leakage out of here, but it's not too much. You should be able to mop it up with a rag, but my garage is starting to smell like a gasoline station. Okay, I got my pumps from Rock Auto. They're the P240 KCs. They're pretty commonly used. They're super cheap. I think it was like 50 bucks for both of these. And from what I read, these kind of slide into there. And there's 2 pumps. So we'll see how that goes. I'll try to take it apart and see if I can get things together. Okay, so these P240 KCs fit really well. I know there's a couple different options that I've seen online. Some of them don't quite fit in the sleeve. too well. There's just a zip tie that kind of holds this in place, and it kind of sneaks to the other side here. But so far, yeah, this is the old pump that came out. This is the first pump. Again, nothing wrong with these other than just old, and I know the failure rate really goes up on these as these cars get a little bit older. So preventative maintenance, just trying to get it so these don't leave me stranded on the side of the road. Okay, I got both fuel pumps in. These are the ones that were in there. I couldn't get the hose off of this guy, and I ended up cracking it. A lot of these parts haven't been moved. I mean, this was pressed on at the factory, you know, over 30 years ago, so it's on there pretty good. I destroyed that. These pumps slid in nice. I reused the OEM fasteners. They're in good shape. They're plastic. I didn't want to put stainless in there or any kind of metal. Just, I don't know how it's going to react to the fuel. I did screw up the strainer. It came apart on me. It's really just pressed on with this piece of tin and aluminum. I just ordered another one from Amazon, like $8. So I think I don't know. It's all together now. I got to get some replacement hose for the one I tore, and I got to get the new strainer. But I think everything is pretty good. So I got a new gasket for this. This is Amazon as well. Another one was kind of caked on there, pretty beat up. Just clean that surface a little bit and get it ready. All right, so test fired it up. Everything started up okay. I got no crazy leaks in here. New hose clamps, new hose over there. New gaskets. Fuel reading looks okay, so it didn't damage the float. Warmed up the tubing a little bit to get it over the fittings for the hair dryer. It's like 0 degrees here in New Jersey this week, so a little bit more pliable. That's it. I'm going to put it all back together, and it's going to be a wrap.